Hello, today I'd like to talk about classical music and show you some of the benefits and why it should be given the support it deserves. We listen to music every day whether we like it or not. When our cell phone rings, when we go to the shopping mall. Why is music so diverse and used for so many different things, and what are the effects of it? The survey of public participation in 2002 said that 1 out of 8 adults listened to a live performance of classical music. As a musician myself and an avid enthusiast for classical music, I believe that this topic is important and should receive the support it deserves. Classical music should be in the forefront. If you are interested in your own well-being or of those around you, you should realize and want to understand more of the benefits of classical music to yourself and our society as a whole. Today we're going to look at the benefits and the ways to support classical music. Classical music has benefits both socially and educationally. The American Physiological Association conducted a survey in January that stated 47%, that's nearly half of all Americans, are concerned over the stress level in their lives. But music has an answer. Music reduces stress, especially classical music. Collingwood said in 2007 that listening to classical music can relax our bodies and minds, especially music from the classical period. Study in 2004 was done in British Railways, where classical music was piped in, and there was a 1/3 decrease in crimes and robberies. U.S. House of Representatives said the skills gained through sequential music instruction, including discipline and the ability to analyze, solve problems, communicate, and work cooperatively, are vital for success in the 21st century workplace. Classical music improves the lives of our youth. David Schoenbaum, in his book entitled The Violin, refers to statements regarding violin lessons. Stephen Philpott of London Prose said in 1766, studying the violin was an advantage to youth. J.F. Hanks, who wrote a manual for Americans, said that playing the violin is an alternative to the unwise use of the shreds and patches of time which tend to be foolishly wasted in dissipation and idleness. Albert Einstein said, Mozart's music is so pure and beautiful that I can see it as a reflection of the inner beauty of the universe. So this brings us to educational reasons why you should listen to classical music. George Lozanoff demonstrated that classical music increases memory abilities through classroom use. He developed a foreign language method with an average retention rate of 92%. After 4 years, his students had a surprisingly accurate recall rate without any review. Dr. Pinna says that listening to classical music is best for a quick IQ increase. Playing an instrument definitely increases IQ. Rock music decreases IQ by degenerative effects upon the mind. Let me show you a chart of the mind and what classical music does. Classical music uses the right and left halves of the brain. It helps your IQ, and this chart shows that it uses all the different parts of the brain uses when you play an instrument. And it turns out that classical music is actually the best kind of music for your brain. Then why is it that in 2008, survey of public participation in the arts shows only 9% of Americans attended a classical music performance? 18% watched or listened to a recording of classical music. Only 3% performed classical music, and 26% liked to listen to classical music or chamber music. Why are these statistics so poor? Well, that's why we need to help raise awareness for classical music. Classical music is good for children. It raises their optimism and encourages creative dreaming. Music Empowers Foundation says the College Entrance Examination Board found that students who were in high school music programs scored 63 points higher on the verbal and 44 points higher on the math section of the SATs. So let's support this legacy of honor, classical music. So how can we support it? Increased awareness. Some of the entities in our area that increase awareness for classical music are the Roanoke Symphony Orchestra, Chamber Music International, Heifetz Institute, Washington Performing Arts Society, Community Cello Works, and many youth orchestras around the country and around our area that bring classical music to our high school students. Something that we should help continue to happen for the good of our ancestors, those who follow after us. Give them something worthwhile. Boethius said music is part of us and either ennobles or degrades our behavior. So another way to support classical music is to listen to or attend a concert, become a donor or advocate, sponsor a student. This is a great way. Why is it that in Europe we have the Harmony Foundation, in Venezuela we have the El Sistema, and our school music programs are dwindling? Should that be occurring? I don't think so. Can you imagine a mini Einstein society filled with beautiful music and grand discoveries? What are we doing to make that happen? Are we leaving our ancestors with challenging, creative hobbies like classical music instruction? Or are we giving them video games to degrade their minds and lose time? Do we give them stress-relieving music? Or do we encourage them in violent rock songs? So let's join hands and make a difference. Live up to the goal and remember the joy it could bring by supporting the legacy, the honorable legacy of classical music. We looked today at the benefits socially and educationally of classical music, and we, to support it, must increase the awareness and support of classical music. So when you're studying for that really hard final test, just go to YouTube and listen to a Mozart symphony or some other classical piece. And remember that classical music is an honorable legacy and you can help make it live on. Thank you for your time.